since the combustion engine, people have been looking at alternative ways of fueling instead of unleaded or gasoline, diesel, etc. And some people have been managing to pass an electrical charge through water and run their cars. Is there any knowledge we could throw towards that, towards anyone who might be looking at it from a sustainable energy? Is there something missing that they're not, that they're chasing?
Well, I think that people that are working on those, hydrogen cells and the idea that you could separate water as you go in the vehicle and run your motor demands very, very specific, deep understanding of the water molecule and bond angles and the way bonds occur. But I think if one thing I could throw at that may bring some result in this research would be that most likely you would need to be able to create a very powerful and precise resonance pulse, frequency in the system. Obviously, you're trying not to use DC because, if you're just using straight DC, then you're doing conventional electrolysis, then a lot of power is necessary to split the water molecule, and you won't be able to do that on the go inside the vehicle. So, a very powerful pulse. The pulse has to be very precise, and I think that very high voltage can really help to break that bond and make the water molecule separate with a minimum amount of power. And so high voltage, pulse structure that with like tuning to find resonance point, and very high voltage is necessary.
Is there something specifically that you'd like to share with our viewers?
If I was to want to leave the viewer with something significant, that the main thing they should remember, it would be that the research I'm doing is showing very definitely that within the confine of the atomic structure of our body is an infinite potential, that every atom is a mini black hole with a little singularity in the middle that connects to the structure of all the other atoms in the universe through the vacuum structure, through that field that connects all things. And to take some time to turn your senses inward and link into that singularity, link into that point of infinite density that is at the heart of your existence. And that from that can come great knowledge, can come great sense of joy, great sense of belonging, and help bring people into their dharma, into their most joyful contribution to the planet, to society as a whole, which is crucial at this time. So really, if I wanted to leave you with something, is that infinity is present within you, and you have access to it, and you're much more than what you appear to be. And to become aware of that, to take the time to link into that, to become the master that you are, is crucial, very important at this moment in our evolution.
So in other words, instead of externalizing your consciousness and being entertained, going and doing all these leisure things, you're suggesting that we should take that time to think of who we are and what we are.
Mm-hmm. At the deepest level, to take even if it's like 5 minutes every day, to sit in contemplation, to close your eyes and turn your senses inwards and go towards that singularity, towards that bindu point of infinite density that's at the center of every one of your atom, that connects you to the whole universe. That is so crucial, because from that place you can walk into the world with all of your mastery, with all the information necessary to make the change that we're attempting to make, and as well with a deep sense of your mission, a deep sense of your dharma, because as you connect with this fundamental source, you connect with your fundamental impetus for being here, for being in this life, for being on this planet at this time, doing what you're doing, and it's so crucial. It's the fuel of life, and we so commonly forget about it. We so commonly miss it. We get stopped by the apparent finite nature of things, and we get, tangled in our lives with all this stuff that we're doing and all this, and it's all external to us. And unless we're reminded, most people don't take the time to wonder who they are at the deepest level and connect with that until they're on their deathbed, and by that time it's a little too late. So I really, really encourage people to take the time every day and to realize their black hole nature, to realize their infinite nature. And when they do, then we'll have more and more masters on this planet, and we need them.
And it seems to me that that's the ultimate shareware then, because it doesn't cost you anything to look inside.
Exactly. It's open source, and it's ultimate shareware. It's very rapid as well. It doesn't demand eons of training. Anybody can do it. Anybody can sit quietly, close their eyes, and go towards the center of their existence, go towards that infinite density at the center of their life, and connect with the universal net. It's like, plugging in to the field that connects all things, the universal net of creation, and it's very powerful, and it can bring a lot of insights and a lot of power to your life.
And it seems to me that what you're suggesting is you should actually commune in nature, not in, say, an electromagnetic field where devices are turned on or screens.
Yeah, I mean, it's harder if there's a lot of background noise. Definitely. It's easier if you're in nature, but not everybody has that luxury. So it can be done in any circumstances. It's just a question of how well can you turn your senses off from the outside and allow the internal senses to come forth.
The subtle senses.
Yeah, we think of them as subtle. And people think of this energy, which I think of as the energy of the vacuum, as subtle energy. But I tend to think that that's only from our perspective, because really, if you think about it, this is the energy that holds everything into existence, that from which everything comes out of and returns to. It's the fundamental force of creation. It's not subtle at all. It's just that it appears subtle to us because we're so divorced from it. We're so separated from it that it seems like just a little background, little voice out there. But more and more we connect, more and more we take the time to link in, that voice becomes a very loud voice in our lives, and it guides us, and it and it nourishes us, and so it's a very important thing to do, and it doesn't stay subtle for very long.